Any questions?
Hi, Francis. I was listening to some teachings this morning, and the question was, what are the stages of realization? And the teaching that came back was basically saying that there were two primary stages. One was the recognition of ourselves as the totality, and then typically sometime after that, there would be the feeling, knowing of the full nature of our totality, including characteristics such as unlimited and complete. And if you agree with that model, what is the correct way to explore the full extent of our true nature without falling into the trap of looking to investigate an object?
You cannot investigate the limitlessness of your true nature for a very simple reason. Is that the tool with which we conduct this investigation, the mind, is itself limited. So a limited tool cannot investigate the unlimited. So the mind can never investigate the limitlessness of our true nature. However, the mind can investigate its alleged limits and discover that there are no such limits that can be ascertained by the mind. I think that's it. That's all. Because your question is, how can we explore the limitlessness of our true nature? How can we be? And the answer is, through the question implicitly assumes that there is a proactive attitude, and any proactive attitude comes from the mind. So then the question becomes, how does the limitlessness of our true nature get revealed? And the answer is that it gets revealed both internally and externally. The most important revelation is the internal one, because the internal revelation is the direct experience of our true nature, which is happiness, which is causeless happiness or causeless peace. And it is an immediate revelation immediate in the philosophical sense, that there is no broker, no intermediary. It is immediate. Now, the external revelation of our true nature occurs through serendipity. In other words, through events that are objective, phenomenal in nature, but these upcoming events, in a sense, carry or bear a signature of, or a seal of harmony, of beauty, of creativity. It's like when sometimes you listen to a beautiful piece of music, and the thought that comes to you, how could possibly a human mind have created that? You see, you are in awe. And the answer is, a human mind couldn't possibly have created that, you know. But this emotion you feel, this sense of awe, is because somehow the resonance of this objective beauty, of this beautiful object, has revealed in you the source of causeless joy, of happiness. So these are the two ways through which this revelation occurs, and simply it occurs in the beginning of the path intermittently, and it becomes less and less intermittent and more continuous. And in that sense, as it gets more and more continuous, more natural, almost unnoticed. In a sense, you know, it's like elegance. The elegance that gets noticed is not true elegance. It's the same about happiness. The happiness we notice is not true happiness.
It seems as though sometimes sages, when they describe their moments or moments of realization, that there is description used such as indescribable beauty or unimaginable ecstasy. How is that to be seen in the context of happiness and serendipity? Is it less important than happiness and serendipity, or?
I think this experience of extraordinary sensorial jubilation may or may not take place because it is somehow circumstantial, meaning dependent upon the context. There are stories in which stories of enlightenment that you find in the literature. There is this one about King Janaka, who was lying on a bed outside in the gardens of the royal palace with his beloved. I mean, the air was fragrant with the fragrance of the roses. They had just made love. They were drinking a very nice Bordeaux wine, I mean, or champagne. When in the distance he heard the Brahmins singing the Veda, and he awakened. Okay, that's one example. So it was likely to be an experience, you can imagine. You see what I mean? Like a Beethoven symphony, something. But there is this other story of this Chan enlightenment, where the guy says, I was sitting behind my desk of civil servant. And all of a sudden, there was peace. It is not likely that sitting behind his desk of civil servant would trigger the same kind of realization as the one of King Janaka. You see what I mean? It doesn't mean that it was not the same. It was the same. And there can be even a worse situation where someone gets hit by a 2x4 behind the ears and all of a sudden awakens. You see, so in other words, what are the hallmark, what are the signs of true enlightenment? Can they be determined right after it happens? Perhaps, but the real benchmark is over time. What? Because it mostly initiates a process. And the only thing that matters, the only question that really matters is, has the process been initiated or not? And only time will tell. So it's more important to have, to observe, to notice in hindsight that the symptoms are present without being able to trace them back to an enlightening experience, rather than remembering an enlightenment experience, but without any accompanying symptoms in the long run. If you are as stupid as you were before, so that's
okay, thank you.